Welcome to the Cool Energy Show on StreetLegalRadio.com.
Hey.
Cool Energy. We have Jay Honey here.
And your girl, Shelby Raw.
Your man Talal, what's up, y'all?
Hey. And this is Cool Energy, and today we'll be discussing finances, financial planning, things that have to do with getting your money straight, getting your money together. And we have a special guest in the house. We'd like to welcome to the Cool Energy Show, Raine, the Realtor Raine.
Hey,
Thank you very much. What's up, y'all? Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you for coming. We welcome you. We want to learn how to get these properties, get these homes, and do the right thing. Live that American dream.
Yes.
And we need your advice. So we're going to kick off. I know some of the listeners might be renting or looking into moving and things of that nature. So we can, I guess, start off this segment about renting and renting to own and moving up in your financial planning and long-term goals and not just renting.
So all our Cool Energy heads out there listening,
right.
Get a pen, piece of paper, get your tablets out, make sure you're taking notes.
I got mine out, so don't be too proud to write it down.
Yes.
Exactly.
We all have
give y'all some
notepads
tips so that we can get you prepared. So make sure taking notes.
Yes. So as far as from a renting aspect of everything, what's your take on renting a property as opposed to owning a property?
Well, I think that's a very good question. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Raine Curtis. I am a real estate agent with Keller Williams American Premier Realty, and I've been a real estate agent for about 8 years now. So a lot of my specialty is in urban areas, first-time home buyers, renters, and and I give a lot of counseling. I do a lot of distressed properties. We'll probably get into that later on. Distressed meaning foreclosure, short sale, things like that. So the renting question is a very good question. I get that a lot, and it's basically to each his own. If with purchasing a home, it comes with a lot of responsibilities.
Yes.
A lot of responsibilities that, a lot of people are not, either prepared for, or it's just something that they just don't want to have to deal with. So renting is just easier, especially if you don't plan on being in that certain area for an extended period of time.
And stuff, right?
Exactly. So the biggest thing about renting is that, you have your typical apartment complex, and then you have your private owners that are renting out their personal,
like in a home,
their house, condo, or whatever.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Hey, I found my apartment on Craigslist, so it can work if you do your research and really go out and see the properties and compare.
A lot of real estate agents are starting to use Craigslist to advertise some of their own listings.
Okay.
Yeah. So it does work. Any way to reach the community, we do it. But the biggest thing that I can say about renting is that one of the things that you want to basically check is that how long do you want to rent? Is it your goal to eventually purchase? And if it is, whatever, you may look into, renting something private from someone else, or whatever. If they're willing to sell it to you later on, then the biggest thing to be careful about is the famous rent-to-own contract.
I think we've all heard about that.
Yeah. Is that a good idea? Is renting to own
what does that mean?
Right.
Well, basically what it means is that you want to rent someone's house, and you want to put it in writing and in a contract that they're going to sell you their home at the end of that period.
Okay.
A lot of homeowners will charge you for that option. For example, if I'm renting a home for $1,000 and you want to buy it from me, then I can say, well, for a rent-to-own contract, I'm going to charge you $1,250. That $250, what I'm going to do is put it in a non-interest bearing account or whatever, and it's going to sit off to the side every month, so that when your lease term is up, you get those funds back to go towards the purchase of your home.
Okay. So that's never building. So they're supposed to be sitting on it.
Right. Basically. They're supposed to be sitting on it or whatever. I never advise any of my clients to do that.
Because you can do that yourself.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
Number one, yes, you can save your own money, and number two, in the state of Maryland, when you're renting a property or whatever, the tenant has the first right of refusal anyway. So the owner has to offer it to you first, as a tenant if they're going to sell their property anyway.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, you're basically just giving somebody your money to hold on, but it's not necessary because there's so many programs in Maryland where you can get assistance for your closing costs, you know, or your down payment and things like that. So I don't think that that's...
So are you saying that are you saying that there's no benefit at all to doing this?
Rent to own?
Yeah.
I don't see one.
Okay.
In my opinion, there is no...
Yeah, it sounds like
benefit.
in the shoebox, and I could do that myself.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the way it's, you know, presented to people is definitely like, it's a positive thing. Like, we're helping you. We're going to set this money to the side for you. So me hearing, you know, someone who actually has a background in it say like, no, there's no benefit in that.
Because basically, you know, the other part to a rent-to-own contract is that you also, at the same time you're doing your lease, you're negotiating the sale of the house right then and there. Well, you have no idea what the market's going to do. You know what I mean? Or even if you're going to want to stay there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just,
So now you've locked yourself into something that could be a bad investment.
Well, what happens to the money? Say if I'm there for a year, right? And you got that $250 that whole year, and and at the end of the year I say I don't want this. You know what I mean? I'm moving. I got a job out of state. What happens to that $250?
Right.
you can...
Does it go away? Do you take it? You know what I mean? Do I get a percentage of it?
Well, it depends on how the contract is structured
Yes,
or whatever, because you know, some people, some people have lost that money where the owner kept it because now you basically breached, you know, the contract.
Oh,
you know,
right.
Yeah.
I'm about to get me some properties, get me some rent to own, and then make them not want to live there no more.
Yeah, I think rent to own is probably gained in popularity because it seemed like that's what our parents did. It seemed like, you know, that's how we got, you know, as African Americans, and you know, we established ourselves into a home owning status is by renting to own from someone, because we didn't have those funds. You know, back in the day we couldn't have a lender or bank wouldn't give us money in a lump sum. So instead of renting, we rent to own, and then that's what our people did before us. And so we kind of hear it now like it's okay, I'll rent to own like my mom did. That's how she got her home or whatever. But it's a whole different ball game out there. People are getting over. It's the market is crazy. I mean, it's a different world that we living in now. So I think that the rent to own thing became popular back then, but now, as you were saying, there's really no benefits to it. I don't really see it.
Save your damn money.
Yeah, save your own yourself.
Money.
Put it in a savings plan and let it
like,
build.
though, if you don't have the what word I'm looking for?
Discipline?
The discipline. Yeah, if you don't have the discipline to save your own $250, then
you don't need a house. I'm sorry. Like, let's keep it real. If you need somebody else to hold on to your money, what are you doing thinking about buying a house? What are you going to do when something goes wrong? Like, no, you need to get yourself together and get some discipline first.
Good point. Yeah. So now that we kind of established that it's probably better to buy a property outright, how long does it take usually to buy a house?
That's another good question.
Now we're getting into frequently asked questions, huh?
All
the time, right?
People want to know.
Another one, right?
How long should you say?
Well, searching for a property, that's, you know, another whole topic or whatever. That can take you, you know, you're the type of person that, you know, like, look, I've been driving past the same house with this sign out there for like 3 months or whatever, and now I'm ready to just jump on it. Well, you know, your search will take a week, you know, whatever, and then the actual process to go from contract to close or whatever could take anywhere from 30 days to 60.
Okay.
But what about, like, I don't know, I'm the type of person that's going to be like, well, why is it still sitting there and ain't nobody else bought it?
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
You know, I'm going to be thinking the opposite of that. Like,
sometimes a red flag? I mean, I don't know. I mean, different properties have different issues.
Well, it could be a competitive market, I assume.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why a property can be sitting. It also depends on, and you know, if somebody's listening that may want to sell their home, this is a you know, a good tip for them or whatever. You have to be strategic when you put that property on the market. Like you know, you can't go on the market, or you shouldn't go on the market the week before Thanksgiving.
Or Christmas.
No one's looking.
Like that.
Right.
No one's looking. You know, whatever. You know, the summertime. You know, you would think because it's hot. Yeah. But a lot of people
for a house, they're
people are on vacations. Once the kids are out of school, or whatever. There are some diehards that are out there looking during that time because they have a different focus. They want to be in their new home by September, or to put the kids in school or whatever. But there's like
at night. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
that's very
drive by on them summer nights.
Right,
yes,
because that's when everybody outside.
Yes, it is. So you definitely need to check out the property during different times of the day and during different seasons if it's sitting for a long time, because there will be some people that might not be out in the wintertime. They will come out in the summertime and they will be lingering. Sometimes it might be on your porch that you want one day.
Yeah.
So you want to see that your future neighbors.
That's very important. That's very important. I always tell my people, drive that neighborhood.
That's right.
Different times, the day, night, whatever.
So what about the infamous 20% that you're supposed to have to put down on a house? Is that true? Do you really need the 20%? Break that down for me, Raine.
The 20%. No, you do not need 20% down.
Yeah, y'all hear that?
It all depends.
I wrote that down. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah.
It all depends on your loan program. Most first-time home buyers, most buyers, period, they get FHA loans. And the FHA, the standard down payment is 3.5%.
What?
So if you're buying a house for $100,000, $3,500 is your down payment, or whatever. 20%. That was a conventional loan, years ago.
Okay. A
lot of years ago, or whatever. Because even your conventional loans, there's some 5%, there's some 10%, whatever. 20%. What a 20% down payment does, it eliminates the need for mortgage insurance every month that's added to your payment.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, the 20% down eliminates that. Because even if you, for example, you get an FHA loan and you put down your 3.5%, you're going to have mortgage insurance added to your payment. Well, once you gain 20% equity in your property, you can get rid of that mortgage insurance.
See, I did not know that.
Yeah, so 20%, putting it down from the jump or whatever, that basically eliminates that. But it's not something that you have to do.
Okay.
But how much, typically is that extra insurance? And do they just roll that into your mortgage, or?
It is rolled into your mortgage or whatever, but the mortgage insurance is 1.75% of your loan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Y'all using a lot of numbers here. Wait a minute now.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like long
that can add up though.
It can. I've seen it add, $130 to a, to a payment, $150, up to, over $300, depending on, how much the loan is.
Yeah. So the 20% myth just basically came as it's kind of old school.
Very old school, because it wasn't a whole lot of loan programs, a whole lot of options. It was either this or that.
And a lot of them websites still use that 20%.
They do. It's just that terminology that's used. Yeah.
So I'm glad you answered that question. I know a lot of people listening wanted to know the answer to that, and I just wrote down some notes, and it makes a lot of sense, and I'm glad you told me that. So
definitely, this is information.
We'll definitely make sure to do a nice little recap at the end and give you guys some, important tips that we kind of picked up today.
If you miss a minute, you'll miss a lot.
Yeah,
a whole lot. Keep your pens and pads handy. Keep them handy. Yeah. And we're gonna kick off some tunes and let everybody get a minute to marinate on this good information.
Look,
that we're
I got a question
when
we come back, because I'm looking for a house right now, and I'm, if anybody knows me, I'm a cheap guy, and I would ask, should I buy a foreclosed home?
Oh my, yes.
So that'll be a good topic.
Is that a way to save coin?
Yeah.
It's foreclosed homes.
All about the coin.
Yes.
All about it.
Stay tuned.
All right.
Cool Energy.
Peace. Hello everybody, welcome to CEO Radio. We are discussing financial planning, how to purchase a home, when to purchase a home. If you're just tuning in, we have a special guest in the building with us today. Her name is Raine. And when we left off, me personally, I'm looking to purchase a home. And my question to her was, I'm cheap. Should I buy a foreclosed home? Should,
all about saving that coin.
Yeah, should I worry about saving the coin on that? And is it really a factor in my home buying process?
That's another good question. And the simple answer is no, foreclosure is not always the cheapest thing out there. That's another thing that carried over from years ago. Back in the day, that foreclosure was, that cheap, rundown property, whatever that people can get, for little to nothing.
Yeah.
But nowadays, your foreclosure is that 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath colonial home that, someone just lost.
And couldn't afford.
Exactly. Especially once the real estate market, took a dive a few years ago or whatever. So it just put a whole different type of property out there, as a foreclosure. Banks have gotten more savvy. They have their own appraisers. They send them out before they list them or whatever, so they know what the market value is.
Okay.
And that's what the banks want.
And then I can't fool them.
Right. So basically,
some people are thinking about it, so we gotta ask that question.
Yeah. No, it comes up a lot, especially with my own buyers, and all I want to see is foreclosure. Well, the biggest thing to keep in mind about a foreclosure is that the only difference is the bank is now your seller.
Right.
Versus, someone else. It's just the
so
bank.
It's hard to negotiate.
The bank is setting the price.
Is it hard to negotiate?
It's very hard to negotiate with the foreclosure or whatever because you have an asset manager that works for the bank that, he has a spreadsheet and he has a bottom line number. That's the least amount of money that they'll take.
That sounds like callbacks.
Yeah, they have exactly. They have the least amount of money that they'll accept for that property, and you either come within or you don't, and they just, flat out, deny you.
Wow.
So
This is.
Yeah, but keep in mind though that because there's so many foreclosures out there, the regular homeowner that's selling their home now has to compete with that property. So if I want you to look at my house versus going over there getting that foreclosure, now I got to battle with that property financially.
Yeah.
Right. So it may cause me to
bring it down or bring it up.
Yeah.
Or you probably bring it down, I'm thinking.
So that's an advantage of the buyers too, though.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, because the foreclosed properties and the independent sellers are basically competing against each other to see who can get that house off the market. So they're going to be like, okay, well, I'm making it lower. I'm making it lower. I'm making it lower.
I mean, unless because if I'm going to list a property and I know that there's a foreclosure in that same neighborhood, whatever, and the prices are the same, I'm going to tour that foreclosure and see what really is wrong with it so that my seller don't take a financial hit, whatever. Then I'll basically speak up the things about, the property that I have for sale that are not listed in that foreclosure. You're going to pay a little more for my property, but I have a nice deck on the back. I have, an upgraded kitchen.
Right.
I have other different things that you may, and just to not deal with the thing.
Right.
I was on to something, man.
Yeah.
I know that was like the new thing everybody was getting into. Foreclosed houses, flipping the houses.
Right. Yes. Yeah. A lot of people buying up properties just so they could turn them over and make a profit off of it. And I guess it's not so
cheap. It's a little bit more involved than we think it is.
It is a little more involved, and I'm here to keep it extremely honest with you.
Yeah.
Wait, listen, I appreciate that.
Yes, we need it.
Y'all need to be writing this down.
I'm saying.
Don't be too proud out there if you're listening to grab your notepad and
if you knew better, you do better. And we just trying to help everybody do better out there. So
we need to do better. Yeah, she said that.
I'm just saying.
She said that.
I think she's on to something.
We keep it cool here, but we are also here to, bring y'all to the next level.
That's right.
So I'm going to ask another question because I hear this term come up a lot and I'm not really sure what it means. So short sales, like what is that? Is it beneficial to do it? What are the downsides?
A short sale, very popular. And actually, a short sale is your better deal if you're looking for, a bargain. They're the best deals out there on the market. But a short sale is nothing short about it. It's basically what it means is that the house is listed for sale. That's less than what the owner owes the bank. or whatever. So basically, you know, they purchased the house for, let's say, $400,000, and now they have to sell it, but the property is only worth $2.
Right.
So what you're asking the bank to do is take less or short, you know, of what the owner actually owes.
Oh, so like short on the money, not on the time.
Not on the time. The time is actually longer because now the bank is involved in saying yes or no to your contract.
Okay.
Or whatever. So now you have a third party that, you know, because the bank is the one that's going to take the loss. So they need to review the contract to see if it's something that they'll actually do.
So who helps you negotiate that? Is that something you do with a realtor as well, or a lawyer, or?
You absolutely can use a real estate agent or whatever. If you're going to list your home as a short sale, you know, you start the process with your bank, you know, and work with the loss mitigation department, you know, whatever, to actually get the approval to do it or whatever. They will also, like we mentioned with foreclosures, they'll send out their own appraisers to see how much it's actually worth, you know, whatever, because they're not just going to believe you that, look, this is all I can get for the house, you know, they want their
prove
own
it,
solid evidence.
Yeah. So, but I do advise any seller that's going to sell their property by way of a short sale to also talk to a tax attorney or whatever, or an accountant, because once you know that difference, you know, you can get a 1099 at the end of the year for the difference that the bank lost.
So
really,
and pay taxes on that.
Okay, yeah, you got to break it down, girl.
Yeah. For example, if you owe, let's just say you bought your home for $400,000. You short sold it for $300,000, so the bank lost out on $100,000.
Right.
At the end of the year, the bank could, if they don't feel as though that, you know, your hardship was great, they could send you a 1099 for $100,000. So now
for you to pay taxes on $100,000.
Excuse me.
Wow.
See, these are the things that we are not informed of. I really hope that as you're tuning in now, you are taking notes, because these are like big pitfalls if you are not informed.
And that's, I mean, that's really crazy that a bank could do something like that, because you're obviously short selling because it's a financial bind that you're in. And not only that, you're already in a bind. They'll put you more into a bind with putting you into this situation where you have to pay the taxes.
So it sounds like they're looking for a way to get that money.
Right. It's like they still hustling.
No matter what.
Still hustling. Like you found a way to make it easier for yourself, and they still trying to screw you.
On the back end.
Crazy.
Well, that's why it's up to the bank's discretion. If you know, have a demonstrated hardship, you know, they could exempt you from that. You know, whatever. But the people that, you know, are rarely exempt from that are your so-called investors, meaning you live over here, you have a second property, and now you know you can't afford both. So now you want to get rid of this other one by way of a short sale. Well, the bank has no mercy on you. They may let you short sell it, but you know you're gonna make up the difference.
That 1099 will be coming.
Yeah.
Wow.
So for all of you people out there thinking that you can just have a quick come up and get you a second property, like you need to be prepared for that.
Right.
Watch out.
Okay.
But you know, there's a flip side on the buying end. You know, like I said, it's a great deal because, you know, I've already said the previous owner bought it for this, you know, now they're selling it for, you know, for lower or whatever. So it's a really, really great deal. The biggest problem with a lot of the buyers is that you must have patience. You must have patience. You know, the buyers get so excited. It's a nice home. It's cheap. It's a great deal. I don't care. I'll wait. You know, as an agent, you explain over and over and over. This can take 2 months. It can take 10 months. You know, whatever. And I've rarely, to this day, had a buyer that was able to stick in there.
Really?
Everyone backed away.
Just because of the length of time it takes?
The banks are getting better. You know, they're streamlining their processes more because of all the complaints, you know, and things like that or whatever. But I rarely have anybody that can hang in there. As much as you try to explain, like, this is going to take some time,
they don't want to.
So then maybe that's the come up.
They get impatient.
You know, if you're thinking about buying something, but it's not like an immediate need, like you need to move your kids in right now, you could think about the short sale because it's going to take a while.
Best situation.
Wow.
If you're
there you go.
where you are right now, and you don't have to, you know.
On
Best situation.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, That's short sale
Learn something
topic.
new, yeah.
Oh man, that's pretty deep.
I knew nothing about this.
Absolutely nothing, and we definitely love your input on that. So how high does your credit score have to be to buy a home? I mean, realistically.
Realistically, yeah.
Yeah.
Realistically,
What should your number be?
best case scenario, you want to be 620 or above.
620.
And what if you
Right.
don't have 620?
Well, there's a lot of lenders now. There's a lot of programs out there now that are going as low as 580.
Dang.
Not
Wow.
every bank will offer that. Yeah, but there's a couple, I work with one really, really good lender that as of last month, they started doing loans with 580 credit score. But of course that comes with a score that low. It comes with a lower price. Whatever, your closing costs are a little higher. Your interest rate is a little higher, or whatever. But hey, since we're, being real and honest here, if you have a good professional in your corner who's, helping you with a home purchase, and, if you're getting assistance, there's way to, to get assistance for your closing costs and things like that. You can ask for, about 3.5% to 4% will probably take care of your closing costs, but a seller can contribute up to 6%. That could buy that rate back down, and now you're even with everybody else, or whatever. And a lot of people don't know, they're thinking just get my closing costs covered. Well, that's cool too. But if there's a program and a seller is willing to contribute, or whatever, then it can buy. It can buy that rate back down.
So a low credit score does not mean that you cannot buy a home.
It does not.
Please do not believe that.
Although you should strive for good credit.
Yes, you should.
And we will be talking about that a little later in the show.
Right.
But we do want to, get rid of that stereotype, if you will. Like it doesn't disqualify you from buying a home. Yeah,
I mean, the process is a little tougher. You have to explain some things, whatever. Underwriters, they don't want to get in trouble, so they want to make sure that, every stone is, overturned and everything. So, it can be done, and it has been done and it's becoming more and more popular. But, to make it easier on yourself, strive to get that credit above 620.
Yes. Keep your credit alive, y'all. Keep it high. Thank you for coming in and giving us so many good tips and all of the information on being a homeowner and getting into the real estate game.
Or staying a renter.
Or staying a renter, because that might be your best option right now.
Right. Think about consider.
Raine, how can they contact you if they want some more feedback from you about their situation, our listeners?
I am always available for questions. You can call my cell phone at 443-617-1833. Or you can email me at realtorraine@gmail.com. That's RealtorRaine@gmail.com.
Thank you, Realtor Raine.
Thank you so much.
We love your input. Will you please stay with us? We need you. We might need you
chime in
some other financial
topics. Yes.
planning issues that we may have.
I got like one more question, y'all.
Okay.
Good.
Well, we got to play some music.
All right, let's play some
We got to get to the music.
Okay.
Let the people marinate.
It's a real small question, so we'll play some music, lighten the mood up a little bit. Let's go.
All right. Yeah, we'll come back. We'll come back with Talal's question to see if everyone else is still inquiring about different real estate questions and issues that they might have. Stay tuned to Street Legal Radio, the Cool Energy Show.
All right, you are tuned into Cool Energy live on Street Legal Radio, and we've been discussing finances, focusing mainly on like real estate, and we have our guest here, Raine. We're closing up that segment right now, and Talal has one last question, so we're going to get into that.
Yeah, I have a question for Raine because I don't like people in my business, and I have a few real estate agent friends, and my question was to you, Raine, where to look for real estate agents? Should I look for a referral? Should it be a friend? Which how I already told you I feel about that. Or should I go on the internet and look for one? Or should it be random?
Yeah, what should you look for in a real estate agent?
This question makes me warm and fuzzy on the inside.
Okay.
Because if you're going to start the home buying process, first, before you look for that real estate agent or whatever, find yourself a good lender.
Okay.
That's the first step. And piggybacking off of, the different ways or whatever in which you could try to find a real estate agent, I would do a referral, especially for a good lender, because the last thing that I would do if you're a first-time home buyer is walk into a bank or walk into a credit union, or whatever, because they're advertising some great rates or whatever, and say, hey, I'm looking to get a mortgage. Because if you think about how you look for a home, you're after work, you're on weekends, and credit unions are done 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. And and the same with a lot of banks. They're closed. So you need somebody, you don't have a question after 5. What if you find a property at 6 and you can't submit a contract or anything without a lender's letter or things like that or whatever, and you need to know what exactly you can spend. So now you're behind the game, because what if somebody else is about to bid a contract on that same property, and now you have to wait until 9 a.m.
hours,
and and hopefully it's not Friday evening when you find this house, because now you're really stuck until Monday or whatever. So I would go with a referral, and you want someone who works according to what your needs are. If you know that you're gonna need questions or want to be able to contact them, or just want somebody that's accessible or whatever, then that's hard to find unless someone can tell you this is how this person was with me.
Now, should that referral be from a friend of a friend? Would you say that, or like?
Or from the lender? You said go to the lender first. So would they know any good real estate agents like that they've maybe worked with in the past that were good?
And no.
Or
yes and no. And the only reason why I say that, the no part, is because this is a referral based business, and you may have this one lender that it doesn't matter what your needs are, all my business is going to her.
Yeah, they could have have a little hustle going on.
Exactly, whatever. So I mean, but I'm here to be honest with you guys. This is how it is.
That sounds shady as hell.
I mean, but then again, it could be for the benefit too. Like, if that's the best person to go with, I'm gonna keep.
But like a working relationship is not bad, because if a buyer comes to me and they have a letter from their credit union, all right, well, we'll work with that or whatever. But the lender I work with right now, I can text her at 8 o'clock at night and she responds.
Oh, okay.
What I'm saying? That's important. That's important when you're trying to get things done. Buying homes.
That gives you like competitive edge that somebody else doesn't have.
Absolutely.
You're accessible.
Absolutely. So that's a big deal or whatever. So you want definitely want a referral. Who you get it from, I can't necessarily say. That would be up to you or whatever. But when you're asking for these referrals, just kind of list them out. If you're talking to people, like, do you know anybody that's great with first-time home buyers, or somebody that doesn't shut their phone off at 5 o'clock and now I can't reach them, whatever. You'd be surprised how many people, especially social media, whatever, that would be like, the person I used was great. Or whatever. But the biggest thing about your real estate agent is to keep in mind that, like everybody else's job, they get off work too.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right. I'm very accessible, me personally, but that text at 10 p.m. is just going a little overboard. Whatever. And I try to accommodate everyone, whatever. But just keep that in mind that they may have other clients and they also are off sometimes.
Cool.
I appreciate you answering that.
Yeah, Raine, thank you so much. I mean, all of the information that we got from you today, learning about the 20% not being necessary, but also the benefit if you are going to do the 20%. Credit scores. I think we set a lot of people free today by telling them, 620, and some people go down to 580.
Put some smiles on some
I think we gave some people hope today.
Yeah, hope now. Yes,
right.
Alive, yes.
So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Tell them again how they can get in contact with you.
Right.
In case they didn't want to catch the last segment where you give your information.
Sure, absolutely. You can reach me on my cell phone that goes off at 8 p.m. That's 443-617-1833. Or you can send me an email at realtorraine@gmail.com, REALTORRAINE@gmail.com.
Thank you, Realtor Raine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you guys. Thank you for your
Yes, so informative. So while we hit on the topic of credit scores and getting your credit together, let's get into credit reports and how important that is when you're financial planning and getting your financial situation straight. I know myself personally, I did not check my credit report on a regular basis until I became a victim of identity theft. Mm-hmm. And this happened when I was a teenager. I was going to Coppin State. I lost my wallet one day, and back in those days, back in ancient times, they used to put your social security number on your college ID. So I lost my wallet. Yes, that was your student number, was your social security number.
Crazy. That's crazy.
So I lost my wallet, did not realize that people can access different things and do different things with your social, and your driver's license, which was also in my wallet.
Also had your social back then before they, got kind of savvy and like allowed you to choose
a lot of
number.
Things had your social security number back in the day. It wasn't that long, but damn, it was a while ago. Yeah. And I just thought like, okay, well, I'll just replace all my ID. That wasn't a big deal. I didn't think anything about my credit report and my credit until I went to some rinky store somewhere, Old Navy or some New York and Company, or some store, and tried to get a credit card. They asked me like, "Oh, you want to apply for a credit card?" Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Ain't nothing on my credit.
Right.
I got this. Yeah. Got that damn denial letter and said, "What the is going on?" So I called, and they give you a number that you can call and say if you dispute this denial or something like that, and pulled my credit report to find that someone had opened an account with Wachovia back then, and blew it up for like $1,700.
Wow.
Yeah, it was not pretty. And it was the really disturbing part about it. One was that, someone could actually open an account with all of that information. Yeah. They did that, changed all of the addresses, so I never received anything in my address. And they had everything sent to their home because under their records it was still my name, my social, but it had a totally different address. Right. Totally different phone number. So they opened all these accounts, and when I went to go clear this up, they looked at me like it was me. Like I'm lying.
And you know what? You gotta fill out an affidavit.
I had to fill out an affidavit and get it faxed. Then I had to do like kind of a legal thing, saying that, someone did steal my identity and I'm not lying, and I had to fax the affidavit to the credit agency and have that whole thing cleared up. And it was a total mess. It was a nightmare. So I wanted to let the listeners know, you need to check your credit report on a regular basis, not even just to see where you are financially, but just to cover your grounds and make sure that someone did not have fraudulent accounts open in your name, did not steal your identity. I mean, it could be all kinds of things floating around.
Mine's just happened making an online purchase. Mine's just happened 2 or 3, this is going on 3 months ago, and I make a lot of online purchases, and I put my information online. One day, I check my bank account every single day.
That's
online.
right. Mm-hmm.
And I went online, and it was just all these negative checks, all these checks coming out. BG&E, Comcast, Western Union, Speed Pay. It was crazy. So I go online and I call the people, and I get a copy of the checks. I got the address. I got the name of the person. I got somebody to look at the house because it was in Baltimore, Maryland. So,
oh my goodness!
Yeah, and I had to fill out the affidavit. Yeah, I had to fill out the affidavits and everything. And I'm just getting my money, and I haven't even got all my money back. I'm still short $5. But I mean, I think it's very important to check. Again, what you were saying, your credit score. Look online at your bank statement.
That's right, on a regular basis.
I mean, now I do it when I wake up. Like it's like my alarm clock. You know what I mean? Before you walk out the house and you get embarrassed at the store because something is denied or something like that. So
and we got Triss in the building now.
Checking in. Bree's gonna definitely weigh in. I think I just got my new bank card on Monday from the same thing. I suggest that anyone who's going to make a purchase online get like a prepaid card or Rush cards for all your online purchases.
I'll start doing PayPal.
Yeah, you can do PayPal. You can do PayPal. That's it. PayPal, anything. Just don't use your regular your mortgage bank account. or anything like that. I mean, you think you never have any problem. I mean, I'm like buying sounds for the main production a website I go to all the time, and I get a call like 2 days later that they canceling the bank card. You know what I mean? So definitely have some other sources than your main bank account. To make a purchase online.
Well, also too, it's not necessarily the online thing, because Target had a big breach. You just go to a regular store,
and they're buying.
You just wonder, like, how much can you do? Like, if hackers are going to get your stuff anywhere nowadays. So just be aware, like Talal said, check your accounts on a regular basis so you can catch this stuff really quickly, because if you let it drag on, those banks and that credit agency is going to look at you like you're lying.
Like it's really you.
Yes.
I think personally, and this just personally, I think prepaid for some places is the best way to go. You know what I mean? Because they have a limited amount of information. You know where the money is, where it's spending. And when you want to make, say, for example, an online purchase for $100, you take your $100 and you put it on that card. And your bank is your bank. You know what I mean?
Right.
Anything attached to
and it's a way,
account.
like, not for your bank to have, complete access to every single thing that you're doing as well. Like, I don't know, something about that kind of rubs me wrong.
That's
I was
true.
logging into Bank of America, and they have this feature now where you can see, like, a pie chart of how you spend.
Oh, wow.
So it shows you like 30% on restaurants, 40% on travel. And I'm like, I don't like you knowing all of that. Like, I don't need you to tell me that I spend 30% on that. And for those of you buying blunts at 7-Eleven, that comes up as food.
Like, what? That's crazy. Then they start offering you blunt coupons. No. They're starting to offer you coupons based on your spending.
Based on how you spend.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you got to watch Google too, because they do the same thing.
Right.
But I mean, one good tool that I did find through my bank is they offer credit monitoring.
Right.
So it's, you pay a small monthly fee and you can buy different packages, but they send you an alert anytime there is anything that happens with your account that isn't of the norm.
Right.
And there's like security kind of checks.
Yeah.
So if something happens, you have to call them back.
Right.
Or you have to send a password or something to verify that you're allowing this to happen.
That's how they caught it. Like, I made a purchase and they said that what happened, the people keep your bank card on their account for like 6 months, and they had some activity. And they just, boom, closed it. They didn't even give me a chance to run through the security. They said, we're sending you a new card.
They already know.
They already know.
So
that's great. I would suggest, looking into further things that your bank can do. Watch for these penny charges, 30-cent charges.
Oh, yeah.
You have to watch
That's what it is.
That's how the hackers start. I know a little bit about computers, not to hack, but that's how they start. They'll see if it'll work first. And then they go in.
And then when you don't say anything,
then
it'll keep going.
Oh, no, I don't play that.
Action figures is what they do with ours.
I don't even like going to, to the ATM when it's not my bank.
That's
right. I don't do that either.
That's right.
I mean, really, people listening, you gotta think about this. Say every time you get paid, right? You spend $3. I'm just throwing this number out there.
That's
$3 every time you wanna take some money out.
Right.
Add all of that up.
Right. It just don't.
Even if it's $100, that's $100.
Money away.
Of your own money that you could have been spending or saving.
If I can't find an ATM that's with my bank, then it's because it's going to cost me more to drive 15 miles.
To get it. Exactly.
But other than that, nah. Or just when you go to your ATM, to your bank, just take out what you think you're going to spend.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to keep running back and forth. Yeah, and also you should use your home bank anyway, because I guess a lot of stuff didn't happen to me, because I've gone to a foreign ATM, quote unquote foreign ATM, tried to do a transaction, tried to take money out. The machine was broken, had a receipt that said no cash dispensed.
Oh, yeah.
And it still
came out of my account.
Yeah.
I went to my home bank and said, oh, hey, this is an error. No cash dispensed is on the receipt. And they looked at, okay, well, we'll try to contact that bank that you used The bank said, "Oh no, our stuff balanced out."
Oh wow.
She didn't.
Of course they did.
Of course they're going to say that.
Did.
Right.
So basically, it's the bank's word against my word.
Right.
Yeah,
And even though I have a receipt and no damn money came out, it still came out of my account, and the bank was just like, "Oh, sorry, girl."
Wow.
Sucks for you.
Wow.
So
That's
I've
what you
learned,
get for using another bank.
Yeah, and it won't happen again.
Right.
I hope you had a fun with that little $100 because it is not going to happen again.
You just gotta be more careful.
Yes, you have to go to your home bank.
Yeah, definitely.
In this age of technology, it's really important that you have to, protect what's yours. Like once you put your information out there, it could be gone.
It's
so you need to make your decisions wisely.
That stays on the internet.
That's
right.
It doesn't disappear.
Yeah.
Right.
That's anything.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
Everything.
be more cautious, guys.
Yes.
Be more cautious. But what we're going to have to do is kick it off to some more notes and tunes and songs on Street Legal Radio.
Yes, cool
And
energy.
keep it tuned in so we can let y'all know how to keep y'all money straight.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool Energy Show. Cool Energy.
Still the millionaires.
Hey everybody, you tuning in to CEO Radio. Thanks for tuning in. I hope y'all enjoyed the music. We're going to discuss budgeting. We're going to discuss tax refunds. We in that
finance.
that month right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
First, I want to give a shout out to You Heard 'em Radio, directly following our show from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Sunday. Consuelo and Eric, check them out.
Eric. You heard them.
Also, the Underground every Thursday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Yes.
with Stan Stunner and LT. All right.
Stan, I hope you listening.
Yeah.
We about to talk about them tax refunds. You
Yeah,
know
so
you
listen.
gotta bring that in the mama. No, Stan, don't be playing. Don't be playing.
Well, look, y'all, taxes, everybody's getting their W-2s and everything coming in. And, you got to file your taxes before April 15th. So I hope
That's the
some of
deadline.
y'all probably already got them by now, with y'all rushing everything. Yeah. But we want to discuss, what to do with your tax refunds and how you should be spending your money. I mean, you should use it to your advantage, you know what I mean?
Right.
So what do y'all think we should do?
Honestly, I think Facebook, there's a lot of Facebook like stunting around like tax refund time.
Oh,
and it's cool, like you want to
Right.
go get you some new kicks and get some new clothes and all of that. But before you kind of splurge on those things, I mean, I would recommend considering, paying off some bills.
Yes.
Putting some money away in the bank, maybe,
Right.
Setting yourself up that you're not living check to check.
Right.
It's think of your tax refund as getting your money back. It's not a come up. It's
Right.
money that they took
Right.
from
Money
you all
right.
year.
Yes.
Right.
Like
You work for it. Well,
I always try to
work for it.
think like, I have a job, but the thing is, my job and anybody else's job in here could be gone at any minute. So if I lose my job, I want to be able to say, you know what, I'm good for a year, I'm good for 2 years, I'm good for 6 months. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have that rainy day money. That's how I look at tax money. I may spend a little bit on a little something, but it's a little bit. So just don't overdo it. That's my advice. I'm not a financial expert, but it's worked out for me, and I'm sure it will work out for you.
Well, Susie Orman is a financial
I love her.
expert,
I love
and
her.
exactly what you're talking about, Talal, she calls the emergency fund.
Yes.
And she says that everyone should have at least be prepared for 6 months. If you were to lose your job, you should be able to still maintain the same lifestyle that you are living right now for 6 months.
Yeah.
That amount of money should be in the bank.
Yeah, because a lot of people depend on unemployment checks.
Right.
And I know, like, I ain't gonna
Unemployment.
put this out there, but one of my family members, she had a job, she lost it, and she thought she was gonna get unemployment. She's working with a hospital. She didn't get her unemployment, so she was asked out. You know what I mean? So you gotta be prepared, and family have to come in and step in.
That unemployment is temporary.
Right.
A lot of people
Right. You
don't
can't depend on
realize that.
And it
They
ain't
sit
that
back and
much.
get it.
Right.
Yes, and it's not going to keep coming.
Right, it's
So
not your
don't
same
plan your
salary.
life around
Right.
unemployment, things of that nature. And another thing that people can do when they get their tax refunds back. I mean, it sucks, but pay off some of the old bills that you have.
Right.
If you have a bill sitting around, that BGE that's sitting there, something.
Stop putting something on it.
Yes.
Pay it off.
Don't pay that minimum. Just pay it off. Just go ahead and pay it off. You got a couple extra dollars anyway.
Right.
Instead of going to get that hair or that new kicks.
This is the time where a lot of creditors, they say, they'll
work with you.
They'll settle.
Right.
If that's your option, hey, you got it's a $5,000 bill. They'll settle for $2,500.
And why not? It's just going to pay off some
And a lot of people got kids, you know what I'm saying? They need to really invest in their future, you know what I'm saying? College fund. Nobody talks about that. Yet everybody talks about the student loans.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Definitely. I would tell you, it will creep up on you quickly. So college fund, think about the kids and, their future as well.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's a good tip.
And also when you mention college funds and things of that nature, people don't really tend to think about the future as much as they should. Even if you don't have children,
right?
I mean, put it into a savings account that grows. I mean, it's hard. You're gonna have to discipline yourself because you're gonna keep seeing that money sitting in the bank, and you're gonna say, "Oh, I need this. Oh, I want this. Oh, the new Jordans came out. Oh, this so and so, and the new bag came out." No.
That's so black.
Yes, it is.
We trying to be
but
black.
right. We do that.
You know we do that. I'm sorry.
Stars, TV.
It's so temporary. Like, come on.
So yeah, just think about the long term. And I know that's easier said than done. I know.
Well, speaking of long term and like bank accounts and things, one thing that I would like to encourage everybody to do is have separate bank accounts.
Yeah.
Like I have one bank account that's my checking account and, just my regular savings.
Right.
But then I have a separate account that is my emergency fund.
Right.
And I have money that comes out of each payroll into that account that I never even see. I don't think about it. I've learned to live without it. And what I do is every 4 to 5 months, I increase it.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Smart.
And you know what I mean? Like,
smart.
That will get you.
Taking notes.
Listen, I ain't taking these trips for free.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be able to afford what you would like to do in life, whether it's recording, whether it's traveling. If you want your kids to have different programs and things like that, like, put that money away for it. $5 a day. People think that it doesn't add up, but it does. Like, stop getting a coffee from Starbucks for a month and see how much money you would have.
Y'all might have seen this on Facebook because a lot of people was talking about it, but it was at the top of the year, the first of the year, everybody was posting this thing when it's like the 360, the 52-week challenge. When the first week you put $1, second.
Don't play with me.
Like that.
Everybody's doing it.
I got my chart from out of my wallet too, honey.
And y'all can't see what we're doing, but Shelby and Jay just pulled it out. The 52-week
challenge.
Yeah, and I mean, it really works. You know what I mean? So you end up, what you end up saving?
And let me tell you, so at the end of the year, you'll end up saving $1,378. But here's the thing, there's a couple of different versions to do it. You can do it where you put an amount in every week and it can start with $1 or what have you. But I know a lot of people get paid bi-weekly, such as myself. I get paid bi-weekly. So there's a breakout of how to do it by payroll period. And for me, I did it in the reverse. So instead of doing the smaller amounts in the beginning of the year, I did the larger amounts because you get taxes in the beginning of the year. There isn't Christmas or Thanksgiving or anything else. So the bigger amounts in the beginning of the year, like by now, I already have $475 saved.
So that's
and it's only
it's $1 at the end of the year.
You're putting $1 in.
Yeah.
What that plan is for 52 weeks, you set aside a certain amount of money. You put a small amount, or as Shelby did, she did the reverse. You put a large amount in. The following, say you start off with $1. You put $1 in for week 1. Week 2, you put in $2. Week 3, you put in $3. And you keep increasing on that. Don't touch the money. It's going to be tempting. Oh, my God, so tempting. Don't touch it. And then by the end of the year, you'll have an extra $1,400.
And don't say, even though you say don't touch it, because I used to fall victim to this. Like, say if I'm saving $250, right, when I get paid, and then I take 50 of that $250, and I say, you know what?
I'll put $300 next time. Don't do that.
It's a trap. Don't do it. I mean, just don't touch it. Or put it in an account like a credit union where it would take you a couple of days to get your money out.
I'm a very big fan of ING. ING Direct. They've actually been bought by Capital One now. But they are an online bank. So you do everything through online. online. And how it works is they're linked to another account that you have through a major bank. So I already have Bank of America.
Right.
So they're linked through there.
Wow.
But the only way I can get money out is if I request it, and it takes 3 business days.
Right.
So that takes away the impulse buy.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to really
like
think
you can do it
about
with
whether or
PayPal.
not you need this money. So I'm only taking it if it's an emergency that I really
Right.
need.
It's a
Wow.
Yeah,
planned
and
purchase.
then, like if another thing you can do that with PayPal as well. Like you can have a balance in your account, and in order for you to get it, you got to order the money.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The only thing that with the IGN, can you make purchases from that account?
They actually have added that as a feature, but I
Okay.
have not tried it
Right.
because I don't want it to mimic my other accounts.
Okay. Right.
Right now,
Keep
that
it like
account,
it is.
all I do is deposit into it. Money
Okay,
goes
gotcha,
into
gotcha.
it. And if I'm taking out of it, it's for a very specific purpose.
Right.
That I put right back.
Okay. Gotcha.
So if I start doing purchases
that's
and
what I'm
all
saying.
of
That's the
that,
only thing with PayPal, you got that money, and you can easily make a purchase with PayPal. I think everybody accepts it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
so
love
yeah,
it. I
the
love
IGN might be
PayPal.
better than PayPal, but come on, you can do both.
I really wasn't familiar with ING.
ING Direct.
I've
They've
heard
been
of-
bought by
heard of it,
Capital
but-
One though.
Right.
But if
So it
you
might be
type in
Capital
ingdirect.com,
Right.
it will take you to the website.
Okay.
It's very easy to set up. If you all would like to use me as a referral, shelbyraw at gmail.com
Shelby
is
been
my
doing
email.
it, 5 years ago, and I've been using it myself since.
Okay, so you're saving money.
Yeah, it really
All right.
works.
So
It
you're
really
right.
does.
One of your
One of my referrals right there. And Talal always got money. I'm saying,
Whatever.
he's cheap, but he always got money though.
Very cheap.
If I want to go somewhere, Talal can go.
got money.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying
that
you
was
don't
good.
see rich people out here frivolously spending money.
No, you do
That's the poor folk
No.
who
Well,
do
listen,
that.
we was talking about taxes. This is another thing about taxes, and I'm not too proud to talk about the traps I fell into.
Yeah.
You want to file your taxes the right way because they will come after your ass.
Right.
They
Right.
will. You know what I'm saying? And you don't
Stop
wanna,
claiming other people's
Yeah.
kids.
Oh yeah, I had that.
On the
Yeah,
come up.
they got
Okay.
Trying to be on the come up.
And that was my
Because
trap.
you always got to
And that was my trap. And it'll come right back
Because
at
it seems foolproof because Nene and them around the way done told you they did it 8 times, so you think you can get away with it. And you gonna be that person that gets audited.
Yeah.
Dang.
I'm telling you.
And I'm telling you that auditing process, they will get in your ass. They want
Yes.
receipts. You cannot make a receipt. They want to know that that person is really a dependent. And if something is even a little bit off, they're gonna make you owe that money, and you don't want to do it because they're gonna want that money right then and there. So I would advise everybody to, file your taxes appropriately. Go to I personally wouldn't go to somebody. I wouldn't go to Nene around the block that do taxes. I would go to a tax professional because when they screw something up,
They're liable.
They're liable.
It's gonna come back on you. So, I mean, as
What do you
far
guys
as
think
the-
about like TurboTax?
on the online tax?
Yep.
They
Or
all right.
different sorts of software and things like that.
TaxSlayer.
Yeah,
It's fine with me.
What do you use, Jay?
TaxSlayer.
Yeah.
Okay.
They work. Those. The software works. I mean, it's just putting the numbers together. So they definitely work. Don't be afraid to do it. Some people.
I use TurboTax. I've used them for, I would say, the last 3 years. What I do like about it is it's convenient. They'll store your tax return from the year before.
Yep.
So if nothing has changed, there's not too much for you to have to actually input.
And the questions are confusing.
They're not.
Right.
No,
Make
very
the
straightforward.
issue with that a lot of people have is that when you go to a professional, they might see a lot of the shortcuts that you don't know about and the little write-offs that you don't know about.
Right.
And a lot of times, I mean, I know the commercials are saying billions of dollars. Go to H&R Block, whatever the hell people they tell you. And in some cases that's true, but if it's a simple case like me, I don't have a lot of different write-offs. I got a bunch of kids, so I'm getting that refund over And they own my own biological, so I'm good.
Right.
But I don't have a really complex return. I don't have a side business that I'm running, and I don't have a lot of stuff to write off. So it works fine for me. But in certain situations, that's not always the best thing.
Yeah.
So I think it applies more to the person.
Yeah, I think if you either have a business, you're an entrepreneur, or you have lots of different, tax kind of breaks and things like that, you need to go to a professional because there's different write-offs and things like that you would not know about. Yeah. But if, you're just a average, I have these kids, this is, I'm a single individual, it's just me that I'm claiming, I don't have dependents. So it's pretty easy for me to figure it out, but you're right, Jay, that's something to think about if you have your own business or something on the side.
Well, what about this? Can I ask you this question? Say, you get your state and your federal, right? Some people will take the state because it's usually less,
right?
Significantly less, and they'll spend that, but save the federal. What do y'all advise? I just want to ask y'all.
Honestly,
let's keep it real.
Honestly,
y'all see their face, they all smile.
I think we should splurge a little.
Yeah,
it's money that we did actually work for,
right?
And you want to have a life. You want to have nice things. You want to have fun, and you want to eat good. Sometimes you want to look good. So go ahead, splurge a little bit, but don't go splurging and shit. Don't go buy no outfits, and your light's about to get cut off.
That's right.
Your phone has been disconnected and stuff. Don't go on now.
I think that's a good balance, though. If you're taking the state is normally not that much.
Right.
If you're taking that to splurge on yourself, I think that's good. Like that's a way to reward yourself. Me, I've already filed. I already got my refund back. Did it? Shout out to TurboTax. I have my money in 2 days.
There you go.
Without even paying extra money. So shout out to y'all. But that's exactly what I did. I took my state. And I bought me a ticket so I could come down here, get my little travel on, cool energy. But then, I took my federal and I put some money towards, I'm going to Dubai in April. I put money towards that. And then I paid up my bills for the next 2 months.
There you go.
So, get yourself ahead.
Think about investing in stock.
That's a good idea.
Yes, it is.
Money.
But that whole issue, I would love to invest and get into stocks and bonds and all that stuff. But where do I start?
That is a good question.
To invest.
And I think that would be a great step.
Yes. For future
so we might have to look into that some more.
If everybody in here invested and say, I'm just throwing this out there because everyone knows it, like Instagram or Facebook or YouTube when it first dropped.
Facebook.
Bing. Like, what if we all invested in these companies?
Right. I mean, that took off.
That's what you gotta find. Like startup companies like that.
Well, I don't know much about stocks or anything like that, but I do have a 401k through my job. And by default, it's through Fidelity Investments, and that's what they do with the money. You have to choose the different stocks that your money is being put into. So they have a very basic kind of tutorial that you can watch online just to tell you the differences between the mutual funds. So I don't know a lot about it, but I do know that you can do research and find out about it.
Speaking of 401k, don't use your 401k on some
don't touch
stupid stuff. I need people that's doing that. And
when you say doing that, what do you mean? Do you mean taking it out? Because I know the 401k that I have, you can borrow from it for free. I'm not charged anything. I don't pay a penalty. It's not a withdrawal. It's like I'm borrowing my own money.
I got an example of that. My coworker, she spent a whole bunch of money the last time we got paid. She's one of them coworkers that live check to check, right? So she had to get her husband something for Valentine's Day. So she used her 401k as a loan.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And took out her 401k.
Oh, bake a chicken or something.
And that's bake a chicken.
Clothes on. Clothes go to Dollar Tree. That's all they want. what?
Buy some
Right.
hand
You
cups.
already own the gift.
That's all they want.
You know what I mean? But it's like stupid stuff
Wow.
like that, and it's like, no, don't do stuff like that. You can use your 401k. Just think of what you can
Right.
do when you retire.
See,
You
but
know what I'm saying?
it's stories like that are the reason for us doing shows like this.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
we want
Yeah.
you to be informed
Yes.
about different ways you can make decisions that will set you up better in the future.
Right.
Yup.
Exactly.
So I'm advising, here at Cool Energy, we are definitely saying don't think of the tax refund as a come up. It is your money being returned to you that you
Right.
worked for all
Right,
year.
right.
Use it wisely.
So think about it like another
Use it
paycheck. You know what I
wisely.
mean?
Yeah.
Eat that TV.
Yeah, don't buy the 100-inch TV. That's so stupid.
Breaking off moot for the cousin that you claim,
Ugh.
Well, thank you all for tuning in to
Yes.
the Cool Energy Show.
Cool energy.
This
And
was
we've
fun to do,
learned
y'all.
a lot. Yes, about financing and real estate and renting.
I'm ready to buy a house, I think.
Bonds and yes,
Me and my
Have some
620 credit.
yes.
Right.
And start my 52-week plan again because I
Right.
went to it already. That's all right.
Kicking mine off March
Yes.
1st.
That's
There we go.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
There we
That's
go.
the
It's
new-
never too
new
late to
start date.
start.
There
Yeah.
you go.
So definitely tune in next Sunday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. for the Cool Energy Show on Street Legal Radio.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for You Heard Him. Eric
Yeah.
Dawson and
And
Consuela.
Consuela.
And also tune in during the week because we got a shout out to the Underground. We
Yeah.
love
They always show us love. Hey,
So tune
Stan.
into the
Building.
wonderful music and the wonderful shows on Street Legal Radio.
Yeah.
All right.
Peace.